Australia, Canada, London, New York, Mexico, Washington,
Chile.
Chile. Yeah. So it's 6:02, and we're like everyone being drawn into the Zoom vortex where you have to be on time. So what I'm going to suggest while we just wait a few more minutes is that, because as I was saying in this lead up time, a lot of you don't know each other because you're from very different years. Maybe people just say who they are because not everyone here is going to read. Hi, Deborah. And we've been doing a sound check so we can hear you. That's great.
How are you?
How well? Here we are,
Waiting for the wave to hit.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the Mexican version of things. But others here have been to the mill already.
Yeah.
That's right.
Literally.
I'm almost a little envious. The tension is killing me. It's kind of
Shall we have a quick little go around of those who are on right now? Since many of you are not reading, and I'm really happy to see so many people that are audience, and then they won't really get introduced. So Gabi, how about if we just have people say their name and when they were here, because we won't get to even hear their voices if they're in the público. That would, it's not in our script anyway. Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, I think people know who I am, Magda. I'm in quarantine in Tepoztlán.
Are we all in the same order?
Yeah, I'm not
sure.
I don't think so.
Gabi, will you go ahead?
Okay.
Let's go row by row. Mm-hmm.
I'm Gabriela Damian. I'm in Cuernavaca. I'm from Mexico City, and I live in Mexico City, but I'm spending the quarantine with my family in Cuernavaca right now. And I've just joined under the Volcano as an assistant director. So I'm so glad to be part of this conversation with you.
John.
My turn?
It's time for quick hellos. Let's just go along the rows.
Okay, my name is...
We're all in different orders. That's why we're...
500 miles above Western
I don't
Europe.
think we're all necessarily in the same order.
Oh, dear.
So you have to give people the floor.
Right.
Okay, John. I'll give the floor.
I am John Werner. I am speaking to you from about 5,000 miles above Western Europe, also known as my mind and my apartment in New York. So excited to see everybody.
What planet are you on, John? What's the name of your planet?
Planet John.
Looks out of space there.
Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and I guess this is Wendy, so we're two Wendys. I'm Wendy Hesketh, and I'm from Mexico City. I live in Tepoztlán, and I had the pleasure of being part of Under the Volcano. I don't know, I guess it was about 3 years ago. I should catch up again. Lovely to be here and lovely to see you all.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Mateo.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Mateo. I am currently in quarantine in Brooklyn, and I was just at Under the Volcano this past winter.
Levi.
Which one?
Which one?
Okay. I'm Jonathan Levi. I've taught memoir, journalism, and the manuscript seminar at Under the Volcano over the last 6 or 7 years. I just wasn't there this last year. And I'm live in Rome, but I'm here in quarantine in New York.
Martha.
Hello, I'm Martha Morrison. I am from Canada in rural Ontario right now, so very happy to see humans. And I'm from Under the Volcano.
I don't know what time we'll be finished, but okay.
Mark.
Oh.
quick reminder to turn off your ambient microphone so we don't hear you talking to near and dear or phone calls, okay? Thank you. Ian.
Hi, my name's Ian Golub. I was in UTV 2016 and 17. Great to see some familiar faces. And I'm in Washington, D.C. right now. Am I the only one drinking tequila?
You might be. I'm drinking mezcal.
Ah, claro.
Tequila. Show
Salud.
those bottles. We're so guilty. Chris.
Okay, hello, Chris Hansen Nelson. I was pleased to be at Tepoztlan at UTV in 2019. I'm in New York City in northern Manhattan. I've been quarantined for 3 weeks. Don't wait and wish for the peak. It's coming.
Wendy Call.
I am in Seattle on day 33 of the quarantine, and I send a lot of solidarity to those of you who live in tiny apartments in New York. I am really grateful to have a garden, and I was at the lovely UTV in 2018 and hope to go back at some point.
Yay. Rebecca Levi.
Hi, I'm calling in from the south of Chile, and I was at UTV in 2015 and 2016 officially, and other times less officially. It's nice to see everyone.
You're in quarantine or no?
Yeah, we're in isolation. It's not full quarantine here, but a version of it for 3 weeks. We're 3 weeks in.
Elaine.
Hi, I'm in Victoria, BC, west coast of Canada, and it's really nice to see everyone that I remember from 2017. Nora, of course, and John. Really good to see John and Ian and Laura and Magda.
Yes. Welcome back, Nora.
Oh, hi. I'm Nora Wakula, and I'm sorry I missed where Marta is, because I'm in Southern Ontario as well. My husband was talking to me. I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, and I think I thought it was 2015 that we were there, but 2015 or 2017, the year that Elaine and John were there. And I think that's it.
Meenakshi.
Hi, I'm Meenakshi. I am in West Harlem in Manhattan, and like the New York folks, just here. Oh, and 2018 UTV.
Oh, yeah. Good. Laura.
Oh, hi, everyone. I've been here, I don't know for how many years. But right now I'm in Tepoztlan, in quarantine, in my house, in my garden. I feel very lucky that I'm here. And even though Magda is here, we haven't seen each other. And I hope we will.
Yeah, me too, Laura.
So take care, guys.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what happens.
Annabella.
Annabella, and I've lived in Tepoztlan for quite a few years, in Mexico for a long time. And I have done 3 times under the volcano, which has been fantastic in the past. And I can't wait to listen to everyone who's going to read poetry and read narrative. So look forward to being part of the audience. So hi, everybody. Cheer up. Let's all be cheerful.
Deborah.
Hi, everyone. I was in Under the Volcano this year in January, which now seems already like a really long time ago. I took David Barstow's class in investigative journalism, and I'm in Mexico City. I've been here 13 years, so just watching things unfold.
Mhm. I see Dorothy. Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's absolutely fabulous to see you. This is Dorothy Potter Snyder, Volcanista 2020, Perfect Vision, coming to you from week 4 of quarantine in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina.
It's incredible. And I see Lucero. ¿Te puedes presentar?
Hola, hola. Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Lucero. Estuve en Under the Volcano en 2019 en el grupo de periodismo y pues me da mucho gusto saludarnos y encontrarnos en este espacio, no en las mejores condiciones, pero bueno, lo bueno es que nos podemos encontrar virtualmente.
Dani. No se escucha.
Hello, I'm Daniel Escoto from Mexico City, UTV 2019 and 2020. Hello.
Great. Jenny.
Hola, mi nombre es Jenny Rueda, yo estoy en Cuernavaca en una muy calurosa cuarentena, pero por aquí andamos. Y bueno, yo me formé parte de también Under the Volcano 2020 y pues qué gusto poder encontrarnos.
Sí, pues. Now, I see other people's names on here, but I don't see their images. There seems to be a whole second page. I see, yeah, Kavita. Kavita.
Hi, hello.
The sound isn't great, but we can hear you.
Oh no. I'm Kavita. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I've come 3 different years, but I can't remember what the years were. I'm sorry.
We miss you. It seems like a while ago.
It was a while ago, but I think 2015, 16 maybe, and one of the others. Yeah, so hello. Lovely to be here. It's early in the morning here, so yeah, no mezcal yet.
No. Sydney, I don't think we heard from you.
Correct. Thank you, Magda. Hello, everyone. Reporting live from the Bronx, New York City.
Oh my God. We even have the boroughs represented here. 3 of them anyway.
Boroughs. If you ever hear steam in the background, that's my radiator. It's still kind of chilly in New York. So, hi, everyone. UTV 2020.
Yes. Rui.
Hi, everyone. This is Rui from Mexico City. I was at Tepoztlán in 2020, just this January.
Okay. Khaldun.
Hello, it's Khaldun. I'm in London and I've been in UTV 3 times. It's great to see everybody, people I know, and nice to see the people I haven't met yet. And great to be here in these dark times, though.
Yeah, it's dark. Enrique.
Hi, everyone. I'm Enrique. I'm in Mexico City, pero en mi Zoom estoy en Los Colorines. Entonces,
Oh, look at that background. Very cute.
so I hope everyone's doing okay.
Thanks. Erica.
Hi, I'm here in Tepoztlán. I see 2 of my classmates, Martha and Kavita. So I think Kavita said it was 2015 or 16. Wonderful. Lovely to see all your little tiny faces.
Right, they get smaller and smaller, right?
You're all so adorable.
Oh. Well, you know what I think? I think that we're going to begin now. I'm really glad that we had this little extra time to bring people in because
Did you hear me? It's Gobi here.
Hi, Gobi. Yes.
I wanted to say hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you had. Good for jumping in.
On, but not just, just to say hello to everyone and that I'm
yes
from Hamburg. And I've been under the volcano, I think, well, I've always considered that I've been one of the most, how would you say, faithful of attendees, going back 9 years. But today, this morning, I found a letter to Magda in 2008 where I'm beginning to formulate my book and the ideas that I have about it. So it doesn't make, more than 9 years. It's really like 12, right?
Gotta finish that book.
I'm going over the final part of it. But anyway, I'm very glad that we can meet this way now in these difficult times. And it's wonderful to see all of the new faces, as you can imagine, through the years. So, hello.
It's just terrific. No, I hope I didn't miss anyone. What we're going to do now is start with the program the way we planned it. And I just want to tell you that there have been a few cancellations, and there are some people that are on the list to read. A couple, in fact, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wow, 8, 9, 10 that I don't see yet. And that doesn't mean they won't be showing up. But our idea is basically to have people read in an open mic the way we've been doing it. In fact, we've been doing it better and better each year with just more organization, more awareness of performing for a group, and just more enthusiasm. It's really become a great part of the program. And so, we convened this after a few very, I guess the best word would be confounding weeks. I mean, we were all getting used to our situations of isolation and or quarantine, which are different from place to place, of course, but I think there was a period of just, we didn't know what hit us, and we don't necessarily still know what's hit us, but it just became clear that there was a kind of longing to be reunited, and we don't know when that will actually happen. And along came Zoom into our lives. And as I wrote you, we did a Zoom event with Shanique a few weeks ago to bring back together the January journalism group, and it was just wonderful. I think, I know Deborah was there. I'm trying to think if anybody else who's here now was at that event. It just felt so present in a way, and a lot got accomplished too. It was a really intensive marathon session with the whole journalism group. And for me, it was a revelation, because I just thought if we can do that with a group that's just been here, we could find it as a tool to leap over the kinds of boundaries we're always talking about in Under the Volcano, and maybe share some of what we're doing, what we're thinking. Maybe some of you are writing about this as it's unfolding, but it doesn't really matter. The invitation was to just share a page, share a poem, or whatever you want to read from. And so I think, we're not pretending that there's not this huge elephant in the room. There certainly is. And I think actually every single person who's here now is in some form of quarantine in wherever you are. We are aware of that, and it's not simple by any means. And I think we're going to be talking about it all spring. So one of the things I wanted to tell you is we'll see how this event goes. We had many more people who were interested in reading than could be accommodated tonight. And so we've already scheduled another open mic 4 weeks from today. It'll be May 15th, and you'll get an email about it. You don't have to do something now, but I just want you to know we're thinking ahead. We're not under any great illusion that we're all going to be sprung from this situation. And for many of us, it's more than a situation. It's a trap. For some of us, it's a time of loss. I mean, I'm in touch with many of you, so I know what some have gone through, but not all. and this might not be tonight a time to share all of those particulars, but the other events that we've planned so far, because Under the Volcano is seeing itself, you could say it's a silver lining for us, using the tool of Zoom and also hooking into Facebook Live to reconnect people who've been here, but also to expand audience. And so we're going to have a couple of live stream events coming up, and I'm going to tell you what they are now in case some of you have to leave before this is over, and you will get emails about it. Can everyone hear me? Because my screen is suddenly lighting up with a lot of different funny shapes of viewing options. Can you hear what I'm saying?
I think Laura is sharing her screen, so
by accident.
Please,
Okay.
Laura, give the stop sharing. Yeah.
There we
it's
go.
on Laura's
Okay,
computer,
thank you.
so-
All right, that's cool. And so now we have a roving spotlight on different people, which is also fine. I think Juan is probably doing that for our recording. So we are recording the session. It'll get put on maybe our YouTube channel or our webpage. But let me just go ahead and tell you about the other couple of events that we have planned so far. And if you have ideas for things that you would like to do, host, or curate, we want you to do that, because we have our own little rubric, you'll remember, called Taking the Conversation Home. And the idea long before the virus or quarantine was that people would carry on some of the kinds of events that we've been doing here, especially the last couple of years, where we've tried to have interconnected conversations with an ongoing theme. This year we may have kind of, shall we say, blurred the notion that we came in with, which was 2020, the year of perfect vision, and we certainly did not see the virus coming. But we're going to be talking about perfect vision and vision as a theme carrying through this year, because whatever else happens, it will still be 2020 all the way to the end of December. And our next event will be held on April 24th. It will be live streamed, and it's taking the idea of vision to the eye of the storm. So, like, what are we seeing now through this particular lens that has been forced upon us? And it'll be in Spanish. It will be curated by Gabi, who's up there, who already introduced herself, who is our new assistant director. And it's going to bring together a small cluster of recent alumni from our 4 different genres: poetry, fiction, nonfiction, and journalism, to talk about what they're seeing and what they think matters to be thinking about. So that will be April 24th. On May 4th, we're doing a book presentation, a joint reading by Cyrus Casals, who gave the poetry masterclass in January, and Christina Beecher, whose first chapbook is coming out, or has just come out, I should say. So it's a book launch. Cyrus has a new book also, and they'll be reading from their new books and talking to me about vision as it relates to the way they're thinking and taking in the world as poets, and perhaps also talking about what we're living through. I mean, I think it's that elephant in the room is going to get a little larger as time goes on, and we're not going to be pretending that it isn't there. And we're interested in what it's meaning for all of our Volcanistas, wherever you are. So we also have a couple of other projects gestating. One is an oral history project here in Tepoztlan, and I'll be able to tell you more about that probably in an email in another week or so. We're just getting it off the ground. Now, we have ahead of us around an hour, I'm guessing, maybe a little bit more, of people reading. And I just have a couple of reminders for you, which are technical ones. Again, it's a repeat, but to please keep your individual microphones off so that ambient noise from where you are doesn't stream into our audio of the reading. And the overall mic is going to be turned on in between readers so that we can applaud. And that's basically it. We're not having a dialogue in between each person's reading. Gabi will announce the next person. since we have a lot of gaps now due to either cancellation or people couldn't get into the link or whatever. So we have the working list, but she'll let you know when your turn is up. That's one thing. And we had asked you that you would say your name and where you're coming from, but we've already done that. So when you are announced to read, just say what you're reading from. You know, is it something you just wrote yesterday? Is it a page from a novel you've been working on for the last 2 years? Whatever it is, tell us what it is. And then you probably already know this from other sorts of events, but if you have a cell phone nearby, you should put it on vibrate so that we don't hear you getting phone calls in case a call comes through to you in one of the moments where the overall mic has been turned on. So does anyone have any questions at this moment, or are we good to go? I think we're good to go. So Gabi, I turn it over to you. Gabi Damian in Cuernavaca, whom I dearly miss. We haven't seen each other in 3.5 weeks, but we Skype all the time, and she's doing a great job. So Gabi will conduct the reading from now until the last person has read.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you are here because we really wanted to do this. I think it's time to value the contact, the human contact, and we all need that. We all need the hug that is this reunion. So I'm so glad you're here. Okay, as Magda was saying, we had a list, but there's some of the persons who are supposed to read, I think they are not yet. For example, Linda Bakiel is here or not? I think she's not. So our second participant, now the first one, is going to be Gloria Estela González Centeno. Are you here, Gloria?
No ha llegado.
No? Okay. So Nora is the lucky one. Nora is the one who is going to inaugurate this reading. Please welcome Nora Wakula.
Oh, hi. So this is a piece that I wrote a while ago and I've resurrected it. It's a very short piece and it's kind of a flash nonfiction. So it's called Insurance Policies and Baby Oil. We stood in the front doorway of our suburban bungalow, the bungalow my parents couldn't really afford, roof-board, as my father pronounced it. We were an unlikely group, my father, Mr. Wilson, who was my parents' insurance agent, and me, dressed in a beach cover-up I had just thrown on. Mr. Wilson has something to ask you, my father said. What could Mr. Wilson possibly want to talk to me about, except perhaps to clarify some obscure legal terminology? Not that at 17 I'd understand anything more than my father did about a clause in an insurance policy. Not many English speakers passed through that front doorway. My father was proud to be having a conversation with someone of Mr. Wilson's stature. Besides brief chats with the office staff at Dominion Bridge, the steel and engineering company where my father worked as the Mr. Fixer, his conversation with native English speakers was limited. And limited was his experience exchanging words with men who dressed in business suits. Mr. Wilson wore a suit. We'll need help in my office this summer. Summer vacations, Mr. Wilson said. Your father tells me you've been getting good grades at school. He glanced over at my father and smiled. Then he looked back at me. How'd you like to come work for me this summer? I was an A student, top of my grade 11 class. I'd been granted exemptions from writing final exams, which is why, in the middle of June, rather than being cooped up in the house studying, I'd been out in the backyard in a bikini baking in the mid-afternoon sun. My father beamed. His daughter, a daughter of displaced persons, refugees from Eastern Europe after the Second World War, was being offered a dream job by a man dressed in a fashionable summer suit standing in his front doorway. A clean job, not a job in a sewing factory or a laundry room or one schlepping a shovel. I didn't even need to line up at the unemployment office to look for it. I didn't hesitate. I didn't give it a moment's thought. Thanks, but no thanks, Mr. Wilson. I'd been staring at the nap of the beige carpet, but now I looked him right in the eye. I appreciate the offer, but this summer all I want to do is lay around in the backyard and work on my tan. I didn't wait for their response, nor did I look to see if there was disappointment in my father's eye. If I did, the memory of it has conveniently faded. I turned my back on them and walked down the short hallway and into the kitchen. I dropped the cover up on the back of a studded vinyl chair and picked up the bottle of baby oil mixed with iodine from its puddle on the Formica top table. By the time I walked down the steps, through the door, and out into the backyard, I was already slathering the oil into my skin.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. That was great. So, our next participant is Rui Feben. Rui, who is a UTV 2020. I think he's around.
I am around. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, Rui.
How are you?
Great to the expectancy of hearing you. Please.
Okay, that's no pressure. I mean, no pressure. Okay, so thank you again for having me, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to read a very short story, which is more like a rehearsal of something I'm trying to do with my novel. This came out just this last week. So I hope you like it. It is in Spanish, though, but I hope you like the sound of it at least. Okay, so here it goes. Cuando nos quería contar sobre aquel hombre, la abuela empezaba así. Esa tarde estaba en casa y desde la sala ya veía el sol cayendo como gajo de naranja sobre la calle grande de Durango. ¿Cómo se llamaba? Bueno, esa. Me escapé con trabajos trepando a la ventana. Era tan niña. Caí al piso y ni bien sacudí mis rodillas, me solté corriendo a la plaza a ver los globos y el organillo. ¡Cuánta gente! Parecía domingo. ¡Cuántos abanicos! Tantísimas risas revoloteando. La fuente escupía arcoíris al cielo del desierto. Ahí la abuela se detenía. Los ojos se cerraban como para salpicarse dentro de los colores. Yo disfrutaba verla así, evidencia de que el mundo sí puede llenarse de júbilos. Pero luego recordaba que en medio de todo aquello estaba ese hombre. ¿Podré deshacerme alguna vez de su cara?, se lamentaba la abuela. La urgíamos a describirlo, pero guardaba silencio. No sabíamos si era la angustia o la enfermedad que empezaba a vaciarle la cabeza. Casi adulto volví a preguntarle sobre él en alguna de las primeras tardes de depresión. Recordó la historia así. El sol caía como gajo de calle sobre la sala grande de Durango. ¿Cómo se llamaba? Bueno, esa. Con muchos trabajos trepé al organillo. Revoloteé a la plaza. ¿Cuántos sepias sacudiendo el piso? ¿Cuántas ventanas sin gente? Parecían domingos. La fuente era un grifo abierto, el agua escapando quién sabe a dónde. Ahí se detuvo sin sonrisa, los ojos como charcos solitarios, y luego dijo: en medio de aquel revoltijo estaba ese hombre. ¿Podré deshacerme alguna vez de su cara?, se lamentó la abuela. Las veces que le pedí la historia, buscando menos la identidad del hombre que la sonrisa de la abuela, aquella era más y más confusa. Decía, por ejemplo, el Durango caía como gajo de ventana sobre el organillo grande del domingo. ¿Cómo se llamaba? Bueno, ese. Ya más vieja, decía que la ventana se le figuraba un abanico. Fueron desapareciendo colores y objetos de la plaza. Con cada versión, la fuente mojaba más su historia, despintándola como acuarela. En medio siempre estaba ese hombre, cuya claridad espantosa no encontraba palabras en la boca pasada de la abuela. La penúltima vez, en medio de una reunión familiar, me dijo esto. Desde la ventana vi al hombre cayendo como gajo sepia sobre mis domingos. Volvió tolvanera. La familia entera tuvo que detener su ataque de pánico. ¿Es que quieres matarla?, me preguntaron. Dejé de verla meses. Me consideraban peligroso para su salud mental. Y quizá lo era. Mi depresión me estaba destruyendo y quién sabe qué buscaría tras acabar conmigo. Me permitieron estar solo con ella en el asilo a modo de despedida. Me senté junto a su cama. Su rostro ya era un desierto planchado por un aironazo de más de 90 años. El mío, un montículo de ceniza sobre los colores del mundo. Parecía dormida. Yo apenas lo dije como un susurro. Cuéntame de aquel hombre, abuela, dije, más para recordar mis buenos tiempos que para encontrar respuesta. Ya no hablaba, ni siquiera era su cuerpo capaz de gritar, pero abrió los ojos de inmediato, grandes como bocas, como mares. No dijo nada, pero supe lo que estaba ocurriendo. En su cabeza ya había desaparecido todo, el organillo y la plaza y acaso Durango. Quedaba únicamente un cuarto ya sin ventanas y el hombre ya dentro, mirándola, con la misma claridad de siempre, el único gajo nítido en medio de la niebla. Thank you.
Qué lindo. Qué lindo.
Gracias, gracias.
Muy bien, muchas gracias, Rui. Ahora, la siguiente participante, the next participant is Deborah Bonello. Hi, Deborah. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So I think my connection is a little in and out. You guys keep going in and out. So shout if I fade away. So as a journalist in Mexico, I'm very focused on organized crime and have had an agent for 3 years who has been asking me for a book. I'm rather embarrassed to admit, but the Volcano and the time David helped me create some structure in terms of how I want to do. And so I signed up for the open mic to kind of force myself to draft a sample chapter, which I'm well on the way to. I've condensed it, obviously, because it would be too long. It would take more than 3 minutes to read. But I've condensed it as much as I can into this little bit of writing. The premise of the book is about women in organized crime and the female side of the Sinaloa cartel. And it profiles a number of women across the region who have worked or had contact with the Sinaloa cartel. So here goes. The town of El Paraíso, or Paradise, in Honduras, is nestled amongst green mountains called Cerro Azul, or Blue Peaks, topped with blue skies. The white clouds that hover above the summits resemble clean, fine fishing nets. The air is cool and fresh, for there isn't much motor traffic here. The little there is both land and airborne. Small Cessna planes fly to and fro over the nearby Guatemala border, and trucks trundle unmolested over official and unofficial crossings along the sleepy borderline. The town of Paradise, just half an hour's drive from the border, is much changed. Until 5 years ago, it was anything but sleepy. Back then, armed men guarded the entrance to the town 24 hours a day, keeping a close check on who and what came in and out. The humble pueblo, home largely to coffee and corn farmers, was punctuated by ostentatious mansions that contrasted sharply with the usual mundane concrete houses that were home to most. One of those mansions boasted a flanked by a fake pyramid, a poor copy of some real ruins nearby, left by the Maya, and a nod to the wealth of at least some of the town's inhabitants. Digna Valle grew up in these pueblos in northwestern Honduras. The oldest and only female sibling in a family of boys, she got used to being the only girl amongst men from an early age. She fast came to understand how to fit into and thrive in an organization in which the main currency was violence. She was in her early 40s with grown-up children by the time she and her family entered the cocaine business. As a woman, Digna was an anomaly in Central America's brutal criminal underworld. But she learned to use her exception to her advantage and did not fall into the classic role reserved for many women in the drug trade: hot narco wife or girlfriend, trafficking victim, or drug mule. She set to focusing her efforts on managing the business logistics and finances and building bridges for the right people in the region to help leverage the family business. And it was here, in 2013, in the Mad Mansion with the pool and the pyramid, that she and her brothers welcomed one of their most important associates, Mexican drug lord and co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Digna not only attended the meeting, she helped broker it. Guzman's trip to the Valle mansion was an effort to touch base with important business partners. Digna and her brothers provided crucial transportation services for Mr. Guzman's continuing criminal enterprise, as the future US indictment against him would describe it. Her family helped move thousands of kilograms of cocaine across the country, bringing it in from Colombia to the south and moving it north towards the United States border and its final destination, American noses. To do that, they had to make sure that the powers that be in Honduras were involved, and much of that was Digna's job. The Valle family were one of the nexus between the country's political elites and the region's criminal clans, a nexus that allowed both to profit from the international drug trade. Mr. Guzman's visit that year was a big deal for the Digna family, for Digna's family. It was his money, after all, that helped construct the Valle's paradisal playpens. And although the family had their fingers in other criminal pots, the coke business was proving a major success for them and their associates. In return for the powerful protections Digna's contacts offered Guzman, his cartel shielded them from interference from rivals. It was the protection guaranteed by working with his organization that gave them the means to enjoy their luxury life. But it wasn't to last. Less than a year after hosting Mr. Guzman, Digna took a trip to Miami to conduct some business meetings and do a little shopping in the kind of stores that don't reach the streets of her home in Paris. She was arrested after touching down by United States law enforcement, the culmination of years of investigative work by the Miami Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration. It wasn't just her plans for shopping and business deals that were ruined. Digna would spend the next decade of her life in United States custody and help the DEA bring down the criminal empire and elites that she worked for decades to build.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Good writing.
Thank you, Deborah. So, after Deborah, Lucero.
Hola,
Are
hola,
you
¿qué
ready?
tal? Sí, ya estoy lista. Yo les quiero compartir un poco. Después de estar en Under the Volcano, me tomó unos meses, pero pude desarrollar un proyecto periodístico con unos colegas. Yo soy de Puebla, México, y bueno, desarrollamos este producto que me gustaría compartírselos para que ustedes lo puedan ver. No sé si haya la posibilidad de compartirles mi pantalla.
Sí, en el menú de abajo, Lucero, tienes la opción de compartir pantalla.
Me dice
Si
que la
pones
anfitrión...
hasta abajo es el botón verde que está en medio.
Ya me
ok.
deja. Ya me dejó.
Pero, por favor.
Okay. Ya estoy. Mientras les cuento, pues esto es Datamos. La verdad, estamos por cumplir un año. Yo estuve en Under the Volcano en enero 2019 y bueno, les digo, me tomó unos meses para poder concretar este proyecto periodístico que está enfocado a periodismo de investigación y de datos. Es lo que les quería compartir, la manera en que Under the Volcano me impulsó, el aprendizaje ahí obtenido para poder concretar de manera independiente un proyecto periodístico. Les comentaba, es un proyecto dedicado a periodismo de datos, investigación, también a la nota diaria. Y bueno, parte del trabajo que hemos desarrollado está enfocado a seriales de investigación. Hemos concretado en 9 meses un total de 12 trabajos periodísticos enfocados a investigación de empresas fantasma, a la situación de la seguridad alineada a los estados cercanos a Puebla, también el gasto de empresas transnacionales como el caso de Audi que está instalada en Puebla, el temas de violencia de género, trata de Puebla. También en la herencia compartimos un poco de lo que dejan administraciones gubernamentales a otras. En Puebla, con la muerte de quien fuera gobernadora en un helicóptero, pues tuvimos en un tiempo muy corto alrededor de 3-4 gobernadores en funciones. Entonces hubo como mucho material para investigar. Aquí les quiero compartir un poquito de este material que trabajamos sobre la revisión de gastos en cuanto al recurso que le dieron a Puebla en el sismo de 2017, en cuanto a donaciones, cómo se distribuyó este gasto, si se avanzó en la reconstrucción de vivienda, de inmuebles históricos, de recuperación de escuelas. Tratamos de trabajar también con algunos visuales, gráficos, para hacer un poco más atractiva la información. En este trabajo de Audi Ciudad Gastos, tratamos de revisar cómo fueron las contrataciones, si hubo empresas que se concentraron el mayor número de contratos, quiénes fueron, quiénes están detrás de estas empresas. Rastreamos el tema en registros públicos de la propiedad, aquí pues todo el material que implica todo ese paquete informativo. Y bueno, aquí por ejemplo en este que también nos gustó muchísimo de educación fantasma son las contrataciones de empresas pues que posteriormente son investigadas por la falsedad de sus contratos, la falsedad de su presencia por parte del gobierno federal. Y bueno, la documentación, siempre buscamos que nuestras investigaciones estén documentadas, sustentadas. Gracias a estos trabajos pues me gustaría compartirles este material que tuvimos en coordinación con la organización Conectas y el Centro Internacional de Periodismo. Ganamos una beca para desarrollar este trabajo, igual sobre empresas fantasmas. Son 3 entregas en cuanto a gobiernos de Puebla, gobiernos estatales y municipales que involucraron pues 3 administraciones, y pues desarrollamos este trabajo con lo que fue Conectas y el Centro Internacional de Periodismo. Y bueno, ya por último me gustaría compartirles este trabajo que es lo más reciente de visuales que realizamos sobre COVID, la situación en Puebla de COVID en cuanto a pacientes enfermos, municipios con contagios, dónde están hospitalizados. Y bueno, todo este trabajo que desarrollamos lo tenemos público ahí en Datamos.
Muchísimas gracias, Lucero. Qué trabajo tan inmenso.
Impresionante.
Increíble, Lucero.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias por compartirlo. Muy bien. Bueno, después de Lucero tenemos a Jenny Rueda. Jenny, ¿estás lista?
Hola, sí. Lista, gracias, Gaby. Bueno, voy a leer unos pequeños poemas sobre el bosque que está aquí muy cerca de mi casa. Ok, a ver. El hijo del bosque se mueve entre las raíces secas de los eucaliptos. Intenta mirarse en el agua nocturna, pero no se reconoce. Su rostro se disuelve en la neblina azul de la mañana. En tus ojos, vidrios llenos de líquen, las sombras de los árboles despiertan con el canto de las aves. Si nosotros fuéramos árbol, ¿seríamos tronco o rama? Quizás yo sea rama y tu espora, quizás yo sea flor y tu fruto, quizás yo sea raíz y tu nervadura, quizás yo sea pétalo y tu hoja, quizás yo sea corteza y tu semilla. Soy ave cantando sobre tu cabeza, soy brisa agitando tu pelo, soy neblina cubriendo tu espalda, soy rama rodando tu cuerpo, soy musgo que se pega a tus piernas, soy flor brotando de tus manos, soy pez nadando sobre tus dedos, soy savia fluyendo por tus venas, soy agua que se adentra en tu boca. Tengo sed de líquen en tus ojos. Eres glauco como la savia que corre tímida entre mis piernas. Eres ámbar como el cono del eucalipto perforado por el viento. Tu alma germina en el hueco de tierra donde se abre tu cuerpo. Ramas con olor a lluvia nacen en mi ombligo, salen de mí, tocan la silla, la mesa, la ventana, se extienden sobre el jardín, se mueven por las calles, llegan a tu puerta, tocan la silla, la mesa, la ventana, se extienden en tu cama y regresan a mí trayendo el vaho de tu cuerpo. Tocar con mis hojas el musgo que toca mis hojas. Pues eso, gracias.
Hermoso, Jenny, muchas gracias. Después de Jenny tenemos a Ian Golub. Ian, we have you now. Thanks for being here. Are you ready? You have to unmute your mic.
All right, Gabby, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So this is a poem I've been working on through the quarantine. Mall parking lot in Cleveland. We stood by our car in a poorly lit parking lot outside a mall in Cleveland on a gray, humid evening, cool and storm, and I stood 13 and sullen as my dad circled our 81 Country Squire station wagon like an angry bull, and my mom searched the wet pavement for our missing car keys. The three of us rooted in an asphalt field of deepening darkness, my gaze drifting away to the line of headlights skidding over the overpass as my dad stomped around yelling, "For God's sakes, for hell's sakes, and why don't you check your purse again, because I gave them to you to hold." My mom rose from the ground, blue jean skirt stained, looking dangerously deranged. "You had him, you drove, you goddamn bastard." She slung her purse into the air, pouring it open, so coins rained down and cases clattered, paper receipts, and even a picture of me blew away. And suddenly we were lit by closer headlight beams as my dad's eyebrows stitched together and his gray eyes swirled down like twin tornadoes descending upon a trailer. And here is the moment I knew he wanted to destroy whatever he perceived inside the vortex of his vision. Inside our car, I imagined he saw us seated, ready to spring. And when he punched his hand into the driver's window, my mom yelled, "What the hell, Leonard?" And I smirked, which my dad saw and ordered me to get over here. Although rarely physical in his violence, barely did he touch us at all, I knew now I was a man and all bets were off. I flinched, readying myself for the blow, but the only thing I felt was the weight of his palm on my shoulder, heard his horrible cry of affliction, felt his whole body jerk, and opened my eyes just as the driver's window exploded, karate kicked in, which never really happens in real life, but this time did. He hopped on one leg, swinging his arms around chaotically, like a World War II plane landing in a gale, until he caught his balance and pointed towards the dashboard. Then Mom must have seen it too, because she shouted, "Idiot," pulling my dad's leg from the window, reaching past spider glass to remove the keys from the driver's seat. And still my father's hand rested on my shoulder, gently now, but one of his eyes felt crucified, a glass shard impaled inside, and yes, I cried, but kept a silent vigil, not moving a muscle. Our nexus balanced momentarily, ever precariously, in a mall parking lot in Cleveland. The end.
Thank you, Ian.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
So now we have Rebecca Levi.
Hi.
Hi, Rebecca. Are you ready?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Great. So I wanted to read a translation that I just did this week of a Chilean poet called Cecilia Casanova. And she wrote this poem actually in 1949, but it feels like it could have been written now. So I'll read the original and my translation. El dolor no me deja expresar lo que siento y me voy llenando de angustia. Afuera cae la lluvia mojando calles desiertas. Estoy herida de silencio. Si pudiera gritar, se romperían los vidrios de las negras ventanas y volarían los pájaros. Si pudiera gritar, afuera sigue igual el tiempo. Mariposas de plata caen en los faroles y pesadas nubes se arrastran por el cielo. Estoy herida de silencio. Dentro de mí toda la soledad se extiende y fuera sigue igual el tiempo. A veces pienso y muero pensando y llego a playas desoladas con lunas que alumbran desteñidas y siento gritos en la nada que ruedan de los cerros a la orilla y se cansan los muertos de ser muertos y me ahogo yo en esa rutina. A veces pienso, después de esto, ¿qué? ¿Dónde después de todo? ¿Lloran los muertos en la playa o ríen enloquecidos? A veces pienso, una luna desteñida, Ravel en el tono de esos gritos, más allá, después de todo, ¿qué? The pain doesn't let me express what I feel and I'm filling up with anguish. Outside, the rain wets deserted streets. I am wounded by silence. If I could scream, the glass would break in the black windows and the birds would fly up. If I could scream. Outside, time goes on the same. Silver butterflies fall on the street lamps and heavy clouds drag themselves across the sky. I am wounded by silence. Within me stretches all loneliness, and outside, time goes on the same. Sometimes I think and die thinking, and I come to desolate beaches with moons that shine, faded, and I hear screams in the nothingness that roll down from hill to shore, and the dead get tired of being dead, and I drown in this routine. Sometimes I think, after this, what? Where in the end? The dead cry on the beach, or do they laugh, maddened? Sometimes I think. A faded moon, revel in the key of those screams. Beyond this, in the end, what?
Lovely.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was beautiful. So now we have UTV 2020, Enrique Urbina. Enrique, are you ready? Estás en los colorines de Tepoztlán y todos.
Sí, ya. I am ready.
Okay.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm gonna read you two poems. The first one is about a guy named Jaime Maussan, who is the most renowned UFO investigator in Mexico. And the second poems I'm going to read to you, they are part of my last poetry book, which hasn't been published yet, and which is called Where the Souls Stayed, Donde sus almas quedaron. They're in Spanish, so I hope you like them. The first one is called Están entre nosotros, canto a Jaime Maussan. En la Tierra tenemos visitantes. Es fácil descubrirlo, solo hay que mirar directo al sol. Sí, un día lo diré victorioso. No estamos solos y podré acariciar una columna de bronce y podré decir que los humanos venimos en paz, porque yo sí creo, quiero creer. Yo te creo, Maussan, y también te cree Cassandra, la que tiene babas en la boca, porque pobre Cassandra, los dioses la abandonaron como a ti y la marcaron con una advertencia que los otros reciben como. Ellos ven más, entonces sus cuerpos y sus palabras valen menos. Hay que encerrarlos en el límite del universo donde hay cascadas de mercurio y barcos de fuego con actores listos para las escenas de muerte y abducción y sexo. Pobre Maussan, ver ovnis hace años te hubiera ganado una muerte sangrienta y una muy linda geografía con ilustraciones de tu panza volteada. Te hubieran puesto un bonito halo que nos diera la confianza de saber que lo que vemos en el cielo cuando se abren las nubes es un visitante y por lo tanto un conquistador. Pero lástima, naciste cuando nacieron todas las flores y este mundo aún no estaba preparado para el fruto del tercer milenio. Es que eres hombre de mimbre y con sombras en el futuro. Cassandra te lo repitió en el desierto durante la materialización del libro azul Ese libro que creaste iluminado. Ahí era claro todo, ahí decía que tu destino eran los lenguajes extraterrestres y las existencias totales. Lo celebraste y mira, ya estás ciego también. Cuando procurabas la noble ciencia de la criptozoología, los generales robaron tu obra para encontrar a los más que médicos que les insertaron amablemente esas ondas contra el insomnio y el resfriado común. Tanto esperabas una invasión y llegó de Roswell, de tu pueblo, Tucomala, nada más para injuriarte y humillarte y vigilarte bien, bien de cerca. Ay, Maussan, no llores rojo, no te apures porque hay esperanza. Hice un altar con tu verdadero rostro reptil para vibrar alto y tomo clases los sábados para aprender el idioma de las estrellas. Es difícil, pero ya comienzo a entender formas, gestos, saludos y roces que me dicen y me dicen, ten paciencia, ya te tocará estar maldito, ya tendrás el gusto de verlos descender de sus naves y máquinas de cromo y meteorito, y ya te emocionarás cuando se acerquen a ti y se peguen a tus ojos y te pidan hacer un programa de televisión donde cuentes la nueva era de la Tierra, el nuevo despertar de la humanidad. Ya llegarán las buenas noticias y te vengaré, Jaime, te vengaré. So, that's the first poem, and I'm going to read you some of his book, which is called Where These Souls Stay. These poems don't have name, so todos hemos soñado con desaparecer y dejar todo atrás y no decirle a nadie a dónde nos fuimos, no decir nada. Todos hemos soñado en convertirnos en desaparecidos y a no pocos se nos está cumpliendo. Tenemos la opción de creer o no creer, la opción de alucinar o no alucinar, la opción de buscar, de nombrar a los que ya están y los que nunca estuvieron. ¿Tenemos eso o no tenemos opción? And the last one. ¿Cuánta violencia se necesita para que las cosas se vuelvan reales? Hay grados, hay números, hay explicaciones. Y lo real se vuelve real cuando se dejan de existir y todo deja de existir y hay silencio. El silencio es tan violento. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. Muchas gracias. Awesome. Okay. Now we have Dorothy Potter Snyder. Are you ready, Dorothy?
I am. Momento. Okay, I'm on. There we go. Oh, it's good to be here. So, Volcanista 2020, this flash fiction comes from La Familia Chimal. I was given birth to by Alberto Chimal during 3 surprising hours. A lot of people are suffering now. Some people are suffering normally and others of COVID. So out of this comes this flash fiction called Dissection Manual for Leon. The thing you love best is being taken apart. You are powerless to prevent it. The rules of decorum require that you contain your feelings in public, and it is recommended also in private. Practice neutral facial expressions until you have mastered them. You will know you have succeeded in this effort when you can walk into a room without anyone asking if you are okay. At first, it may be difficult to refrain from hunching your shoulders, sighing, or rubbing your own arms as if cold or suffering from drug withdrawal. Don't be discouraged. Keep practicing. Wear a smile that is neither too big nor too small. Make sure it projects strength of character and suggests an esoteric awareness. Inspect your smile often. Curate it. When in the presence of the thing you love best, turn away periodically and seek reflective surfaces such as bathroom mirrors, windows when it is dark outside, and your cell phone. Caution, your face is also a reflective surface. Keep it smooth, shiny, and clear. The thing you love best is being taken apart, not you. Don't question this. The first few ablations are the worst. They stun you. You may say, what is this? There must be some mistake. Do not be alarmed. There is no mistake. Remember, the professionals know what they are doing, and soon enough you will relearn how to move your limbs, tongue, bones, bowels, and the small muscles of your face in accordance with the existential gravitational shift. Initially, you may not know where to put your hands or where to sit or stand. As the dissection of the thing you love best continues, however, you will become a master of the art no one chooses and fewer appreciate. Keep this manual handy for quick reference. The thing you love best is being taken apart. Do not contemplate empty places, stumps, holes, scars, even your own, faded or worn fabric, peeling paint, or abandoned houses. Avoid autumn. Focus on stale objects as dancers do during pirouettes. Locate your Archimedean point, the vantage from which you can observe the situation objectively and independently. This will allow you to relate your pain and that of the thing you love best to a universal reality. This is a heuristic approach, and as such is not guaranteed to be optimal, but it will offer short-term relief. Remind yourself that your love is eternal, despite the fact that the thing you love best is not. Recalibrate, readjust, return to work, take selfies, apply filters, complain about your water bill, put on clean clothes, wipe your nose. Caution. As everyone knows, objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Similarly, the thing you love best may seem shrunken or swollen, acquire an unfamiliar odor, or fail to respond to stimuli in predictable ways. This will be most evident to you when you are entering or leaving a room. You may experience an acid taste in the mouth, leakage from the eyes, weakness in the knees or heart, sleeplessness, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts. Do not worry. This is normal. Home remedies include indulging in bad habits in secret, holding your head in your hands, rocking back and forth rhythmically, and hiding in public bathroom stalls, janitorial closets, your car, sour-smelling alleys with dumpsters, or anywhere on the extreme outskirts of town. To avoid self-absorption, limit all remedies to 5-minute periods. Use a stopwatch. Eventually, you will prefer sunsets to sunrises. You will become opaque and dense as black holes. You will be unfamiliar to yourself. This is progress. The thing you love best is being taken apart, and you must not fall to pieces. Follow these instructions to the letter.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Meenakshi Chakravarti after Dorothy. Meenakshi, how are you? Are you ready?
Minute. There. Okay.
Yay. There
Yes.
you are.
Okay. I am going to read an excerpt from my novel Pretty Lights, which I worked on at UTV in 2018. And this novel is about identity, memory, and the internet. It has an artificial intelligence character and also a major gaming thread. The novel has 34 chapters. This excerpt is from chapter 23 and involves the AI character, hacking, and gaming. The characters mentioned in this excerpt are Mary, who is a programmer, who works for a company that programs the U.S. government's programs for the U.S. government's Department of Defense. She created Mai, who is a virtual AI who's sort of doubled and sort of gone rogue by this point in the novel. And the Korean is an elusive, alias-shifting hacker. So chapter 23, January 2016. The Korean fingered Mai. Mary returned from the bathroom to see pages of Mai's surveillance code spill out into a 4chan thread, an old one. The last post was more than 8 months old. When you read code all the time, it's a language. If you have an expressive bent, it's an expressive language, like words, musical notation, images, abstractions. It's formal and conventional, more conventional than words. Garbage code has less value, even, than garbage words. That may change. Code is rapidly becoming a primary form of garbage, but its workers and connoisseurs are too busy to reform that garbage into art. They're thankful it's cleaner than radioactive waste and plastic. Mary read and wrote code with color and story. For her, it wasn't simply functional. She heard it. It could even be symphonic. It could murmur. It could screech like a child's recorder. She saw color. Right, my Saiba Kusama, Annie had said when Mary had tried explaining this to her. All this to say that when Mary came back from the bathroom, there was lava, blood red, flowing low in a window. Slow bleed. Very few were aware of it at first, but then like barracudas they came. She cauterized the cut, the flow stopped. The predators tried to find more, but most of them were small, hippie, unskilled wastrels. The rogue had disappeared. The Korean had turned on Mai. Mai had to play their game. Mary put her earphones on. Do not disturb. The Korean darted off. Mai was no falcon, more like a giant spacecraft that darkened the visible sky. Mai moved like a storm, illusory holes here, towers for surveillance there, turrets with gunners here, clear sky and false friends there. The storm moved slowly, but within, projectiles, crashing a website here, corrupting a hard drive there, moved very fast. Mai disabled or cast aside scavengers and nosy bystanders, homed in on the Korean only to find over and over that they were gone. If chasing doesn't work, don't chase. Mai settled into the normal roiling of the internet. Once or twice, Mary thought she saw double, but when she clicked to look back, just one, just Mai. She waited, wrote new bait. The Korean would return. The Korean was small and very fast, like a kestrel. By the time she, Mai, saw it, it would be too late. She had to lure the Korean into a barrier it would not see. The Korean, flying blind, would have no time to see. Done. Sorry. Thank you.
Amazing.
Amazing, Meenakshi. Thank you so much. Okay, so next we have Daniel Escoto. Daniel Escoto.
Hola Gaby, hola amiga Gaby.
Are you ready?
Super ready. Hello, fellow Volcanistas. I'm reading an excerpt of my current novel project. The setting, early medieval Ireland. I translated myself from Spanish to English. Everybody knows her name, not only the dwellers of Clonmacnoise's surrounding town, but all people, high and low, of the region of Connacht. Ever since fortune favored her family and her household was strong and safe, Riona undertook the nourishment of destitutes from surrounding lands. Her 3 handmaidens assisted her. What started with 12 paupers at her door was now dozens standing in line along the river. The 4 women distributed bowls of a pottage made of venison and oat bread. In the cold seasons, Riona would even see that wheat bread, normally reserved for the palates of the rich, was served, as well as black pudding. Some of Riona's poor took the food and leave. Others stayed. They rested their bodies there, sitting on the grass, gazing at the lady and her mint green eyes. This one woman dared to come close to her and change her hair. From that day on, Riona has worn the tight braid around her forehead for which she is known. No one really remembers when Riona started to spend entire afternoons with these unfortunates. Under an oak, she listened in silence to their sins and laments. She stared off while they wept, atoned, recovered. Later they would come back to acquaint their benefactress with the novelties of their lives. After a while, ordinary people of Connacht came too in want of being heard. Children were often around, ready to be treated with Riona's confection of milk, honey, and herbs. Little by little, Riona started to do more. Some she has comforted, like the young nun who escaped her sisterhood, thinking to be with child, only to find afterwards she was only late. Others she has admonished, like the fool who thought to have befriended an old wolf from the nearby forest, only to arrive home one day and find his belongings torn into pieces by the animal. Some few she has spoken gentle words in between scoldings, as was the case of one particular man, boastful about his indiscretions. He had come to her after taking a swim in the river, screaming in pain because of 2 eel bites in his pudenda. One time, under the soothing shadow under the oak, Riona shared her own milk, her youngest son was just born, to the baby of an elderly widow who in her grief could not even bring herself to see the child. Season after season, more and more gather. Even the abbot of Clonmacnoise and some monks have come to observe Riona's endeavors. They stand silently, keeping distance. On occasion there comes a man under diabolic influence, or someone sick beyond salvation. The crowd then holds still. Riona proceeds to address him or her and speaks calm words that the unfortunate will listen without a blink. Then she dismisses them without further ado. One time, a man whose face was covered with pustules was angered by Riona. He demanded that she heal him right on the spot. He began to howl. In return, everyone present jeered at him. They threw mud to his face. So he left. Riona then asked everybody to leave. Not even after Riona was widowed did all that came to an end, because it is now the people who take care of bringing goods to feed her and her children. From dishes full of freshly cut salmon mixed with cress and onions, to all kinds of gruels that, though humble, warm the stomach. The 3 handmaidens stayed out of loyalty until she persuaded them to leave. Before departing, they kneeled before their former mistress, kissed her toes, and washed them with their tears. Today Riona received 2 crippled women who begged, "Heal our feet, sweet mother. We long to walk by yourselves. We are sure you can heal us." Riona dedicated affectionate words to the women, but as always when she is implored in this fashion, she refrained from touching the supplicants. She was careful of not even brushing them with a sleeve or a tip of her dress. She has once told me that whenever a sufferer, a cripple, or a person possessed comes see her, that very night her sleep is clouded by visions she can barely describe. These visions make her wake up in a feverish state, not because they terrify her, but because the awe they inspire. Little by little, over the years, she tells me, these images, their frightening colors and dazzling shapes, have filtered into her waking hours, like music does through ears that cannot be shut. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. That was great. So after Danny, we have Chris Hansen Nelson. Chris, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I'm going to read a poem, but before I do, there's a couple of items in the poem that I think would help to know. One, there's reference to the rush hour A, and that's the A train in the subway in New York. And the other is reference to Felicians, which is an order of Catholic nuns. And there's a couple of nuns mentioned by name, Illuminata and Anastasia. So when you hear that, you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay. Night school. 10 or 12 of us bust out the elevator, out the station from the rush hour A. Some I notice smile or nod. Some head north, some south. I cross the street with the crew cutting through the park. Halfway across, I note the moon, not 2 days waned, a portrait on a nail, powdered, pockmarked, the face of an old nun, wrapped in black habit, tired, tilted, staring down, surrounded by the blinking eyes of every student she's ever had. Slack-jawed to silence, I stop and stare back, up through the arms of the elms of Bennett Park, feet firmly planted on the pedestrian path. Who are you, apparition? Watchful aspect, distant eyes pausing as you cross the garden sky to look me over. I'm not sure if I know you or not. Your habit marks you a Felician, but not Illuminata, not the double driller of altar boys, marching hands in prayer, right thumb always over left into the ranks of the uniformed. Do not waddle, hollers the voice of God. Nor Anastasia, Sister Snowshoes, the blur of her trusty blackboard eraser hurtling at my distracted head as I try to make the girl on the next desk laugh. I shift my weight from left to right, move one foot from its cemented stance onto the do not walk on grass. Moon, you are more a Sister Fermine, a hugging nun with a feather voice whom we as students would never hurt by breaking any rule. Puppet of my past, I miss the hugs and smiles good boys receive. I miss my mother. The next crew rolling through passes by. Some moon, someone calls out. I smile and nod and jump to join the end of the line. Thank you. Thanks.
So what's the question?
Call. I'm not sure, but it looks as if Gabby might have lost her signal. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I heard nothing for a while, so I don't know if it was me or some other part. But anyway, I'm really, really grateful to be here, and so lovely to see all of you. Thank you all for being part of this. And I've been really deeply moved by how this is something that the whole world is doing together, which has never happened before in my lifetime. So even though it's a disaster, it's also a really interesting collective process. So I'm going to read two poem translations, poems I translated into English by indigenous Latin American women. The first is by a poet named Antonella Solano Mendoza, who's from the Wayuu Nation of Colombia. And the second poem is from a Zoque poet from Chiapas. Her name is Miquea Sanchez. And both of these poems were in this magazine, World Literature Today. And I put in the chat a link to the Miquea Sanchez poem because the Zoque and Spanish originals are at that webpage. And also there's an audio of Miquea's reading it in her language. So this first one is by Antonella Solano, and it's called On Silence's Rope. You are the saliva of a word bathed in moonlight. And that's an epigraph from Hector Rojas Eraso. No use getting drunk on what's lost. The same syllable shakes with sobs, shrouded in silence. My mouth is a wall, cracked by death, trying to calm the guardian of life's heartless thunder. That ghost whose name we speak in a low voice. In the raucous future, inside my skull, where the stones of eternity churn. So that was by Antonella Solano, who's Wayuu from Colombia. And this next poem is by Miquea Sanchez from Chiapas. and it's called We Are Millions. Come to my land, install your machines, poison the rivers our livestock drink, contaminate the aquifers, shove garbage into the spring, into God's face. Trick my brothers, offer them bread and greed, the pleasures of the flesh. Love, auction to the highest bidder. Bribe my sisters, promise them power and money. Tell them about the wonders of the first world. Come to my land, install your peace-destroying machines. Show us pain and despair, bullet wounds. But we are millions, and we are unafraid. Thank you.
Thank you. So next we have Linda Bacchiel. She's here now and she's going to share with us. Linda, are you ready? Oh, Linda, you have to unmute.
Oh, I have to do it. Oh, did you unmute me? Okay. Buenas noches. Sorry for the delay. I had a time zone confusion, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to read 2 short poems. The first is called La Marea. She is a large, strange animal, her serpentine tail twisted around continents. Spumy breath hisses onto salty shores, wet feathers. Here, ice. Here, sun-cracked rocks at noon. She is restless. She is changing. She is coming nearer. She is now or never. She is neither here nor there. She is never at home. She is not even a shadow. She whispers. She roars. She steals up on you when the moon is too full. She swallows your house, your children, your village. She sucks them into her infinite swells. She takes them whole and spits them out, stick by shingle, bone by bone. She shows no mercy. She holds no prisoners. The next one is called Some Would Condemn Them, and it's inspired by perusing the Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Butterflies. Some would condemn them for standing motionless in a field of milkweed, wild carrot, or citrus trees, counting minuscule seed pearl eggs, snapping satyrs and parnassians, fritillaries and fatimas, Aphrodites and metal marks, sulfurs, coppers, blues, and skippers, chasing clicking white-skirted calicos through subtropical woodlands, while in Charlottesville, in Ferguson, in Thomasville, in Flint, Dayton, St. Paul, Baton Rouge, at Standing Rock, or in Penuelas, some mother's child dies or is poisoned, or has her homeland stolen. Some would condemn them for turning their backs on the demands for justice, for life, for respect, to gaze through tiny lenses at even tinier wings, waiting for them to stop beating, waiting for the instant beauty stops flashing and flitting about the fields, displaying its uncanny camouflage, its bitter taste. Some would condemn them. I can't. Life is life. It pulses through those veined wings as it pulsed through those children's, those mothers' hands. Justice cannot answer death. Maybe beauty can.
Thank you, Linda. Beautiful, thank you. So after Linda, we have Libertad Pantoja. Liber, how are you? Are you ready?
Hey, Gabby, I'm ready. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. I'm going to read a short story. Maybe it's not the best topic, I don't know, for this situation, but I would like to read it because I received feedbacks from some people who is connect here. I received some feedback from Gabby, from Olivia, from Rui, from Danny, from Majo. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. So the short story is called Víboras que muerden. And it's this one. Víboras que muerden. Las lombrices rosadas se retuercen en el jardín de la casa de mis abuelos. Pienso en algo que decir, en mostrar miedo. Trato de adivinar qué es lo que esperan y lo que debo darles. Señalo las lombrices, jalo la falda de mamá y digo, mami, hay víboras, víboras que muerden. Mamá me abraza y dice, no son víboras, mi amor, son lombrices. Siento como su abrazo me llena de calma. Su rostro, su piel suave y el olor a crema de lavanda y leche me hacen querer estar abrazada a ella cada segundo. No recuerdo en qué momento supe a lo que huele la lavanda. No tengo miedo de perderla. Sé que viviré más allá de los 100 años y ella pasada los 90. Mi padre nos acompañará durante muchos años todavía y mi hermana aún ni siquiera es un proyecto. Hasta hace poco los días eran una sucesión de luz y sombras sabor leche, perfumados de cabello con olor a madera y acondicionador de hierbas. No había nada que decir, solo la mezcla de recuerdos nuevos y viejísimos, al inicio atropellados e indistinguibles. Hace algunos meses yo pasaba el tiempo jugando en la alfombra de mi cuarto, comiendo lo que se caía al suelo, lo que dejaban mis baberos cuando mamá no se daba cuenta. Para mí era una cuestión de experimentación y curiosidad, algo que ya no podría hacer a placer cuando creciera. Me interesaba poder realizar la acción en sí, sin que nada ni nadie me juzgara. Además, me encapriché en evaluar todo con mis sentidos tiernos, recién estrenados, que me brindaban aromas puros y sabores intensos, como ya no podía recordar haberlo sentido alguna vez. Las migajas son ricas, me da hambre y las como, me da calor y me quito la ropa. No es lo mismo desnudarse enfrente de todos cuando eres un bebé que cuando eres un anciano. Uno es gracioso, el otro ridículo. No puse ni pongo mucha atención a si me enfermo o no. Al fin, ya sé que no me voy a morir a los 2 años, que sobreviviré todas las gripes, tifoideas y alergias, que ni los perros, ni la varicela, ni el herpes zóster me matarán. No recuerdo qué me mató. Olvidé el nombre de lo que tengo enfrente. Lo señalo. ¿Qué es? Es una taza, mi amor. Mi única preocupación es que pronto olvidaré todo lo que pasará. Llegará un punto en el que, al igual que cada que renazco, se irán todos mis recuerdos. Será cerca de los 3 años, pero el punto exacto en el tiempo no es claro. Tengo miedo de ya no recordar nada, de no poder evitar cometer los mismos errores cada vez, de que todo se esté repitiendo como si fuera la misma película que estoy condenada a observar toda la eternidad. Hoy desperté sin poder acordarme claramente de mis hijos ni de mis nietos. Ni siquiera tengo la certeza de que en verdad hayan existido. Me siento una traidora que los está cambiando por el verdadero sabor de la leche, por la ternura de sus padres niños peleándose almohadazos y riendo por el cuarto. Me pareció injusto no poder decidir quedarme con mis recuerdos. Trato de consolarme pensando que quizá me tocó una vejez terrible. Mamá dice que hoy estoy muy seria. No lloro, pero pujo y me quejo. Nos vamos temprano a la casa. Al llegar, veo en la parte superior de la vitrina un frasco. Está lleno de chicles que tienen la forma de pequeños hongos. Aún puedo recordar su sabor, cómo se pegaban en los dientes y a veces se deshacían en la boca antes de tirarlos a la basura. Yo los colocaba recién masticados debajo de una repisa de madera que estaba en la sala cuando tenía 6 años. Recuerdo todo aquello a pesar de que esta lengua nueva de niña no los ha probado nunca, pero estoy segura de que en menos de 4 años lo hará y sabrán tal como lo estoy imaginando ahorita. Estoy por cumplir 3 años. Vamos al mar para celebrar. Me vistieron con un traje a rayas blancas y rosas y un sombrero delgado para protegerme del sol. Entro a la alberca en brazos de papá. Ya no recordaba cómo pica el cloro en la nariz, ni cómo, aunque el agua no esté tan fría, se enchina la piel al sumergirse. La manera en la que el agua carga el cuerpo, dando la falsa idea de que todo es más ligero. Voy a recoger conchitas con mamá. Es tarde, la arena está fresca, pero recuerdo cómo quema los pies cuando el sol está en su pleno. El rugido del mar me suena más fuerte que nunca, más fuerte que cualquier otra cosa, y me tapo los oídos con mis manitas. Mamá y yo nos sentamos en la playa y papá nos alcanza. Viene mojado. Dice que va a nadar, señala el mar. Mamá se espanta. A veces olvido lo nerviosa que es mamá. Ella le pide que no vaya. Entonces recuerdo que ella jamás nada, que le tiene miedo al agua. Él sale corriendo hacia el mar y ella comienza a llorar, como el día que me resbalé en la tina y abrí los ojos bajo el agua. Yo sé que a él no le pasará nada. Recuerdo este momento, haber pensado en qué decirle a mamá para distraerla. Algo que sonara inocente y al mismo tiempo maduro. Finalmente le pregunto, ¿sabes manejar? De inmediato mamá se ríe. Vuelve a reír cuando le cuenta a papá. La recuerdo contando esa misma historia en otros momentos. Me río también, caminamos juntos. La arena se ondula bajo nuestros pies dibujando víboras que van al mar. Agarro una conchita y la levanto. La miro. Conchita. Corro por el cuarto, me río, quiero brincar, brinco. Se me ocurre una canción y la canto haciendo ruidos con la boca. Me asomo por el balcón del hotel. Mamá me levanta, me abraza y me mete al cuarto. Frente a mí estoy yo y estoy desnuda. Solo traigo mis guarachitos. Pego las manos al vidrio, me río. Me gustan los espejos. Mamá se acerca con un pañal. Regresamos de Acapulco hace unas horas. Mis padres repitieron la anécdota del ¿sabes manejar? Tomando café y galletas con mis tíos y abuelos. Tomo una galleta María que es casi del tamaño de mi mano y veo por la ventana tratando de recordar la sensación que tenía frente al mar cuando era adolescente. Pero es inútil. Recuerdo cómo se acaba de sentir, de escuchar. No sé cómo evitar seguir olvidando. ¿Qué puedo hacer? Pero no sentí que importara en estos últimos días en Acapulco. Pensé poco en los recuerdos viejos. Más bien sentí. Ahora ni siquiera puedo recordar cuántos años tenía cuando mis abuelos murieron. Muerdo la galleta. Es deliciosa. Siento que sabe mejor que cualquier otra cosa que haya probado. Veo a mis abuelos. Tenía tantos años que no podía estar con ellos. Corro. Alzo los brazos frente a mi abuelito. Él me sube a sus piernas, papá saca el dominó, mi abuelo me da las fichas, yo las cuido, las tapo para que nadie las vea. Entonces sé que en cualquier momento voy a olvidar. Huelo el café, el perfume de mi abuelo, miro sus manos, está bien. Todo es nuevo, terrible y maravilloso. Tomo una ficha llena de puntos y la pongo en la mesa. Terminamos de jugar y bajo de las rodillas de mi abuelo. Me asomo a la ventana. Llueve fuerte y cada vez que suena un trueno, retumba en mis oídos y huesos, más fuerte que el rugido del mar. Me llevo la mano a la boca, el índice a los labios. Cae mucha agua. Se va a llenar de agua la casa. Ya está entrando. Afuera hay víboras. Víboras que salen del agua cuando llueve. Víboras que muerden. Listo.
Muchas gracias, Liber.
Gracias, Gaby.
Thank you, Libertad. So, after Libertad, we have our last participant tonight representing the Bronx, among others, Sydney Valerio. Hi, Sydney.
Hola, ¿me escuchan? ¿Me
Sí.
escuchan?
Yeah.
Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias por esta oportunidad y este espacio. This is a very first draft of something I wrote last week. On April Fool's Day, I sat on the bed of the Hudson and poured honey into her body. This was our conversation. My dad says he feels protected. At work, he wears gloves, a mask, a suit. He unboxes food and items for people. They line up on Southern Boulevard in the South Bronx, all 6 feet apart, waiting their turn to enter his workplace. His hands these days fully stock spaces in this community that brings families together rather than fill them with powders that tear them apart like he did in the 80s. My pen always pauses on the page when I write this part of our story, the part where I let you know I'm the daughter of a drug dealer. I mean, the part where I tell you my father stocks shelves of supermarkets and I just completed my 3rd post-secondary degree. I mean, today, in quarantine, people hide their faces and keep their distance, suspect everyone. Stores are closed, boarded up. This too brings us back to a 1980s New York City. Yesterday, in Cuomo's press briefing, a comment was posted that New York should legalize weed. In this pandemic, everyone wants to get high, not die. Yet, My 3-year-old self knows there's death in those deals. In 2004, my dad was in possession of weed, no teniendo sus papeles. He was detained by ICE. It's 2020, and he knows what it means to be isolated due to status. Yesterday, I spoke with my dad, and most days we leave voice notes in our WhatsApp chat, not because we're lazy. He doesn't know how to read or write past the 4th grade level. Today, he needs to only know how to read labels on boxes, name brands, and shapes. Today, he knows what he touches, cleanses, sanitizes. His hands place containers of bleach and rolls on shelves. People line up to grab what he has unpacked, though a former inmate in a detention center, COVID has let him hear society tell him he too is essential.
Fabulous.
Oh, Sydney, thank you.
I knew you were going to kill us. It's why I put you last.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's a first draft. I'm glad to share it in this space.
I want to say that it's been incredible, beyond my hopes and expectations, but on the other hand, right up there with them, because you are all Volcanistas for a reason. And it's just a glimpse of what will become possible for us as we explore the technologies that now can bring us together. And it's going to be really hard to say goodbye to you all as we crawl back into our quarantines.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Gabriela.
Muchísimas gracias. Amazing hosting. You guys were amazing.
Yeah, it was very wonderful. Thank you for all those.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you, everyone. See you.
Adiós.
Applause.
Adiós.
Applause to Juan. Thank you to Juan Arevalo, who's behind the scenes here. Juan made it all possible.
Gracias, Juan.
Gracias. Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias.
Nice meeting everyone.
Gracias.
Ciao.
Tribu.
Ciao, ciao. Todos, take care of yourself.
Nos fuimos.
Hasta la próxima.
Salud.
Los quiero. Salud.
Adiós.
Chao, besos.
Brindis, sí, adiós.
Now
Se fue.
Gracias.